this is just the latest in what has been several sexual assault allegations against the football team. In fact, the top 4 recruits from the 2016 class have all been dismissed from the program because of sexual assault allegations. What is the feeling like in the state of Michigan today?
Well, there's no doubt this is a crisis time for Michigan State and for Mark D'Antonio, the head coach. And, I think sometimes these things blow up to where we just start throwing every possible allegation, not just obviously the criminal allegations, but as far as cover up and all this stuff. There's no indication right now of any of that. But what we do know is that they have had 5 players from one recruiting class, including Keith Mumphrey, who was dismissed last year, who have been accused of sexual assault. Obviously, 1 is too many, but when you have 5 in one class, you have to take a deep, hard look at who you're recruiting and what you're telling them. And D'Antonio expressed some frustration because he felt like they were really educating them the right way. But for whatever reason, messages were not getting through. These are very, very, very serious allegations, obviously. And this is a crisis for Michigan State. And I do believe they've got good people in place at the top, but clearly they've had some problems and they need to address them.
Now let's talk a little more about football coach Mark D'Antonio. He's been cleared by an external investigation of any wrongdoing. It does not look like he will lose his job, but considering the number of incidences, are there questions that the community wants answered by the coach, or is he just getting unwavering support?
Well, I guess that depends on which part of the community you ask. I mean, there are some people that are going to support him because they've won a lot of games. There are some people who support him because he has conducted himself really in an exemplary manner for the most part until the last year. People would agree with that. And then there are going to be people that will want him gone. I don't think he's in any danger right now of losing his job unless something else comes up. I haven't seen any reason he should lose his job. But this is a problem. And one thing about D'Antonio, he does not run from problems. And so I think he's going to take this very seriously. I think he's going to try to figure out the best way to address it and move forward. And I do know Mark D'Antonio, and I think this bothers him on much more of a deeper level than any kind of PR hit or any kind of recruiting hit. I think he has certain core values, and clearly they were not upheld in a number of cases here with Michigan State in the last year. And I think that really gets to him.
Of course, the football incidents come on the heels of another scandal, which involved the sports medicine doctor Larry Nassar, who worked with the women's gymnastics team. He's currently in prison. So, Michael, where does Michigan State go from here? Is this about soul searching? Is it about house cleaning? What needs to happen?
Well, these are, as far as we know, unrelated stories, but they do fall under the bigger umbrella of, is there a culture here where you're not paying attention to things, where you're ignoring things? And the Nassar story is very complicated. It involves USA Gymnastics as well as Michigan State. But they've gotten a lot of heat for that, and deservedly so. And so I do think that they need to look at everything and say, wait a second, what are we doing here? Why have we had this many issues in one place? We don't believe we stand for this, but you are what you do. And the Larry Nassar thing is a major, major scandal in sports. It's gymnastics, so some people aren't paying attention. It's not like it's football or basketball, but that doesn't change anything for the victims. And Michigan State does need to have a serious look at what was done wrong, where they failed, and how they can avoid that going forward.